Good morning, everyone. Sunday morning, day 105, I believe, on the Appalachian Trail. I'll try to make sure I put it on the video. We had a nice little stay in Waynesboro, got a resupply. I know I was just off trail a little while ago, so, but I did relax and took care of some issues I was having. So we are good to go now on that. Got our resupply, and right now we are back on trail. Been on trail for a little bit this morning. We are coming close to, we are just now in, this is a nice little creek, Caledonia State Park in Pennsylvania. It's actually, you can camp here too if you want, but we're not. We're going further because we are not far from the official halfway point. It might be today, might be tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly where it's at, but I know it's not far. And then we have the Pine Grove Furnace Store and the Appalachian Trail Museum coming up. Both those areas are right in the same spot, along with the half-gallon challenge, which the half-gallon challenge, something that's a tradition on the AT. Not everybody does it, but at the Pine Grove Furnace Store, many thru hikers will attempt the half-gallon challenge, and what that is to signify and mark that you have officially hiked halfway on the Appalachian Trail. You do a challenge to eat a half-gallon of ice cream. That's a gamble, but you don't have to do it. So some people just get a pint and just, snack on that. So I don't know. We'll see. You can camp there. It is a state park. So, and they do have a hostel. But I'm not that far away from it. So to me, a hostel seems kind of pointless. I might just camp at the park. We'll see. We got to get some miles in. Keep working through Pennsylvania. So we can get to the fun and exciting rocky part of what is known as Rocksylvania. That's closer towards the end after, I think, Duncannon. Somewhere around there. So yeah, got some cool things coming up. The biggest thing is hitting that official sign that you are officially halfway between Georgia and Maine. It's so crazy. I've seen so many YouTubers that I've watched over the years hit that sign, do the half-gallon challenge. It's just, that's huge. So that's a big reason why I did come back out on the trail. Part of me, like I've said before, I never worried about doing the whole thing. A big part of me knew, though, that once I had gotten, because I've gotten way further than I ever imagined, I definitely wanted to hit that halfway point. So anyway, guys, I'm going to put this up, and we are going to keep on hiking. I'll catch up with you in a bit. Well, somebody was generous and left some trail magic. A pen, some hand warmers, some earbuds, a can of collard greens, corn, and what appears to be a liquor bottle with some type of substance in it. We, however, are not fixing to indulge in that. Entering Caledonia State Park. No trail camping the next 2 miles. No big deal. You can camp at Caledonia if you want. At least somebody put a trash bag there for some of the stuff. pretty sketchy. I mean, it's cool they leave a little bit of liquor, but I ain't gonna lie, some of these nasty folks on this trail, they'll take it and drink it. They don't care. They don't care one bit. But the cans, come on now. Ain't nobody got a can opener. And the earbuds, I ain't trying to use somebody else's used earbuds. So, oh well. All right, guys. I'm gonna keep heading on down this trail. See you in a bit. So here's Caledonia State Park. As you can see, you got some porta potties over there. You got a little playground for the kids. They even have a pool. So yes, the hikers can use the pool. I don't think it opens till 11, but you can use the pool. It's like a $5 fee. And then they also have showers here somewhere. Yeah, look at that. Tumbling Run Shelter, next water, 9.5 miles. That's always fun. That was fun. So, man, look at this beautiful creek. It's a beautiful park, guys. So, I guess over there, I know there's tenting areas all around here. I think it costs a tent. So, I'm not doing it because it's too early in the day for me to stop. But, man, look at this beautiful creek. That would be a nice tent spot right there. Could definitely enjoy this. Nice, well, it's not the best or flattest tent spot. And then let's see, over here, looks like we got a little cabana. The trail goes that way, through where those couple were coming through. Oh, these are reserved, the pavilions. But that's pretty cool. They even got a little swing over here. Very nice. All right, I know sometimes I watch a lot of movies and stuff. There's Locust Gap Trail via the AT. So this is the AT. I don't understand why there's balloons. And there's another one up ahead. I mean, it's kind of sketchy. You're out here in the woods and there's just some random balloon. You know who gave out balloons? Pennywise the Clown and It. Okay? It's kind of creepy. I mean, I'm not going anywhere near sewers, I would imagine, because I'm up here in the hills. But it's still a little creepy. Clowns. Nobody likes clowns. That's who gives out balloons. And we just gonna have a couple of them tied out here randomly in the woods. I don't get it, guys. And then this weird fence. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Oh, yeah, here's another one. I mean, there's only two of them. Like, maybe I shouldn't have touched it. I don't know. It's just weird. You know, these are things you think about while you're out here walking. I mean, you got plenty of time on your hands, so you sit here and go, huh, who would put balloons out here? Why would they put balloons out here? Scary movies, that's usually what happens. Clowns give out balloons. Nobody wants that. But yet, here they are, out in the middle of the woods. Oh well, random ramblings on the trail. Turn these into my new TED Talks. Except they're gonna be Fred Talks. About what's going on out here. So, all right guys. I will catch up to you in a bit, unless I get snatched up by Pennywise or, you know, some other type of creepy, weird clown. But hopefully not. So I'll see you later. So update, there is another balloon, but the good news is we're going that way. Not that day. That's stranger danger towards Pennywise. We're gonna go right over here where there's no more balloons. At least that we don't think of. Hey everybody, it is Sunday afternoon. Just wanted to take a second to kind of show everybody where we're at. Got our couple good sized climbs out of the way. I don't know how mileage wise we're in. It's pretty hot out, but man, this reminds me somewhat of the Smokies. Just those old forests. You know, there's moss and stuff on the ground. I mean, I've been walking like this for about a good solid mile. It smells amazing. There's crushed pine needles everywhere. Like, it is just, some of the walk hasn't been that great. And I'm a little out of breath because I just finished that last hill, but yeah, it's just, this has been beautiful. So just wanted to share with everyone. And I mean, we're surrounded by it. Just as far as you can see. It's pretty quiet up here too. Haven't seen any deer today. I don't know, guess they're all in town eating people's grass in their yards. I saw that the other day. So anyway, I got a shelter coming up, a little less than 2 miles. Looks like a nice little creek in front of it. Man, that last shelter was nice. Felt like I was in somebody's backyard they had decorated. It had like gnomes and stuff everywhere. And I mean, the sleeping space itself was tiny. But it had like, it was like a big rectangle, and you could see there was a picnic table in the middle, and then there was enclosures, lean-tos on both sides. But each lean-to would sleep at max 3 people comfortable, probably 2. So yeah, it wasn't very big. Not a whole lot of tent spots there either. This one that I'm going to, they say there's probably like, you could fit like 20 tents there, supposedly. So, I don't know, I've learned that a lot of people on the AT that comment, their math ain't mathin'. Because they'll say, oh, you can fit 6 tents. You can fit like 2. So, but anyway, I'll try to get some video, picture. I think I'm going to stay there. The next shelter after that, there are some campgrounds, or not campgrounds, but camping areas. But most of them lack water. So by the shelter, I can camp in my tent, and I'll have water, and I'll have a nice little covered area. It was thundering earlier, but now it's looking like it cleared up again. So I guess we're gonna dodge the rain today. But yeah, so the other shelter, it's a little bit, I mean, it's mostly a ridge walk and then downhill. I'm up on the ridge now. So but it's still like, I think 7 miles away. Tomorrow we're gonna hit Pine Grove Furnace. That is where the Appalachian Trail Museum is. It's the official, I guess, museum they have for the trail. That's also where you do the half-gallon challenge, because right before we hit Pine Grove Furnace General Store, we will pass the absolute 100% official halfway marker. Whether you're going northbound or southbound, it is the official halfway point for the whole AT. So, and then the half-gallon challenge is basically a traditional thing, like I said, hikers do. You basically try to eat a half-gallon of ice cream to, commemorate that you have hiked half the AT. So, don't know if we're going to do that or not. We'll see. But they do have food there. I talked to a group of girl hikers earlier. One of them hiked with some friends last year. She's training to hike the AT next year. And she said that the food was very good. And there is a state park. It does cost to camp, but she said just past the lake, right as soon as the AT, you get back on, there's a beautiful camping spot right there by the lake. It is free. So, and at the lake, you can also take showers. And they even have a pavilion, I think, that has electric, so you can charge your stuff. Not 100% on the electric, though. But anyway, we'll see. So, yeah, we're just going to keep pushing this out, get to this shelter. I mean, if I get up here and it's crowded, which I doubt it, I'll take a break and see, but it's already almost 5. So, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to stop and relax. There's a creek. Let my feet soak so I can get the swelling down in my toesies. So, oh, there goes that thunder again. So, all right, guys. Looks like we're getting out of that beautiful old forest. We'll see you later. I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Ain't had a breeze all day, but it's blowing now up here. Thank God. It's hot. Hot, hot, hot. Oh, we're about a half a mile from the shelter. We're gonna check it out and see about staying there. If not, push on. It's almost 5 o'clock though, so it'd be nice to be done for the day. That would give me just over 10 miles tomorrow to Pine Grove Furnace. So if I get up early, and it's all pretty much downhill, there's a couple little climbs in between, but I could get there by lunchtime. So that's kind of what I'm gonna aim for, at least get there by like 2 o'clock. If I don't stop for lunch, I can just eat when I get there. So anyway, yeah, just wanted to enjoy this breeze for a minute. It's really pretty up here. So it's nice and peaceful. Anyway, I'll see you later, guys. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the end of day 104, I think. Just set up right here with camp. Here's the trail. That's the way we will be going in the morning. I made it to one of the shelters a few miles back. It was a pretty nice shelter. Nice little flowing creek right in front of the shelter. Plenty of tent spots. Well, actually, I'll take that back. Tent spots were, people were saying there was a lot of tent spots. I didn't think there was. Nobody was at the shelter. I had 0 phone service there. It was still kind of early, so I figured I'd push on a little bit more. Makes my day a little shorter tomorrow. But also, when I was reading in the comments, for that particular shelter, I guess they've had issues with bats there recently. So they bats, and I don't know, they're like bat mites or something, bat bugs. So I guess they're these little bugs. Somebody commented and said they looked it up. They're like bed bugs, but they're attracted to bats, but they will bite you. So anyway, I decided was not going to stay there. Basically just took a little break, filtered some water because there was none up here where I'm at. So I made sure I grabbed extra water because I carry an extra bottle empty just in case. So I had, 3 liters of water, a little over 3 liters, and then just kept hiking. Still felt good. It was a little, not early. It was, a little after 5 o'clock, but I stopped at one shelter earlier today, and those guys were stopping at like noon. I was like, I can't do that early. Unless they started at like 4 a.m. I don't know. But I've seen them before, and I've seen them stop at shelters early. I've seen them take zeros at shelters, so. But yeah, we're just on the top of this little ridge walk. I'm actually right at 2,000 foot elevation, and apparently, looking at the rest of Pennsylvania, this will be the highest. Well, this is the last time I'll be up to 2,000 foot elevation. Everything in Pennsylvania after this, I guess, is lower. So that's kind of cool, I guess. Today's climbs weren't too bad. The first couple climbs were a little steep, and it was super hot and muggy out this morning. Right now, as you can see, it's pretty overcast over there. I've been listening to the thunder for a while. It's showing possible rain around 9. So we'll see. That's why I wanted to get set up. There is one last shelter, or another shelter up ahead, but it was another 4.5 miles. So I'm tired. I just figured I'd eat and set up my tent so I can go to bed. Coming up soon, within the next 6 miles, 7 miles, is the official halfway point for both northbound and southbound AT hikers. So that'll be cool. We will hit that tomorrow. We're about 5 miles shy of hitting the 1,100 mile mark. So that's pretty cool. We'll hit that tomorrow. And then we will also hit Pine Grove Furnace, which is in Pine Grove State Park. It's basically, you walk right through the state park. There's a pretty cool hostel there. I'm not going to plan on staying at it unless the weather just turns to crap tomorrow, which it doesn't look like it is. But it's a pretty cool looking hostel. And then, it'd be nice to catch a shower. However, at the state park, they have free showers for hikers. So I'm just going to do that. And they have a lake you can go swimming in. You can camp there. It does cost money, but right past the state park, there is some camping. But they also have Pine Grove Furnace General Store, which is where everybody goes to do the half-gallon challenge on the AT. The half-gallon challenge is a tradition on the AT. After you hit the official halfway point, you basically stop at Pine Grove and you pick your poison as far as a half-gallon. Well, it's a quart or whatever they sell it as now, because they don't sell it as half gallons anymore. You have to eat that and a pint to equal out the half-gallon challenge. So you basically eat a half-gallon of ice cream, see how fast you can do it. Some people just do a pint and they don't waste their time with the rest. I don't know, we'll see. Eating a half-gallon of ice cream, could I do it? I could. I love ice cream. But I haven't had it much lately, so I don't know. I just know that I'm not going to want to do any hiking after eating that. So I've got about a 7-mile hike to hit that. So might be a short day tomorrow. That's why I did push a little bit further today, so I could get there by lunchtime tomorrow. Try to break down camp a little early so I can get there by at least noon time, I'm hoping. It's pretty much a downhill walk from here. So yeah, we have quite a few things we're going to hit tomorrow. And then, like I said, they have the lake there you can go swimming in. It ain't no Florida lake, so I ain't got to worry about gators, that's for sure. Snakes, maybe leeches, I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to do that. We're going to hit up the lake probably, unless it's, again, really crappy weather. We'll probably camp somewhere right over there. pending the weather, and then keep pushing on. Mosquitoes are terrible out here. We're pushing on. We are getting closer to, I think, Carlisle, Pennsylvania is coming up. That's where there's a little bit of a stretch. There's like a 14-mile stretch where it's just farmland, but I talked to a lady today. She told me that, there's no water, and throughout that 14-mile stretch, you need to plan accordingly because there is nowhere for you to camp, and I guess there are no shelters. There is a mark on the map, on my app. I'm pretty sure it says the same thing, because most of that property, I guess, goes through private property, and they don't want any campers. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then we'll be hitting Duncannon, Pennsylvania. I think I'm only 50 miles or so from there. And Duncannon, Pennsylvania is when you start getting into the rocky areas. So at least that's what the lady told me today. Her and her husband have both through hiked. They actually take care of one of the shelters on the trail right around here. So the shelters have been nice. The one I stopped at earlier today, I felt like I was in somebody's like fairyland backyard. I took a few pictures, but there were so many people there. But they had like little fake flowers everywhere, nice little benches, a swing. Just definitely a nice little shelter area. Shelters have definitely been getting nicer as I've gone further north. I will say that. Georgia and North Carolina and Tennessee, they were basic. Further you got into Virginia, they got a little nicer, and then Maryland's were nice. Pennsylvania's, the few I've seen in Pennsylvania so far have been pretty nice. So anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. So there wasn't a lot to see today. Coming up, there's not a lot. I mean, that's just the way it is. So I try to keep y'all entertained with talking, showing you some funny stuff, kind of like the creepy balloon that I saw today on the trail. I know someone on Facebook, when I posted it, mentioned that, I think it was my friend Jessica, she had mentioned, it might have been one that, somebody let loose and flew away. No, this bad boy was tied to a tree. There was actually two of them, probably about 50 feet apart. So I asked some other people, when I got to the shelter, they all said the same thing. They had no idea what the hell it was, and they were not going to keep going down on the other trail to find it. So luckily we went a different way. Sorry, Mom. I've watched too many scary movies. I get it. But, safety first. So, all right, guys. Well, y'all have a good evening. I hope you had a great weekend. Tomorrow is Monday, so get some rest, and we'll see you later. Bye. Yeah, can't tell by the phone, but it is getting pretty dark. That's all rain over there. Well, looks like we fixing to get wet, boys and girls. Hopefully, I got as you see, I got big rocks already on my tent. So, I wasn't playing games. I was fully prepared. So, alright guys. Wish me luck. Hopefully there's not a lot of thunder and lightning.